I'll give an update on some of the, we did have a lot of newsworthy crimes over the last month, and so I'll give an update on some of those, and then I have some good news that kind of dovetails with what you guys have been talking about to share. So we had, I think the first newsworthy event was a robbery at the corn stand. It was a robbery at gunpoint that happened close to a month ago. What didn't make the news was the very next day that guy was caught, and the gun was also recovered. That was caught thanks to Burien police, who, as a contract of the sheriff's office. So when the robbery happened up here, Burien police officers were aware of the suspect description, participated in trying to locate that suspect that night. So then the next day they ended up finding this guy and finding, matching description, and were able to kind of piece it together and make a good arrest. So we appreciated that.
Was that the one with Guardian 1?
That was, yeah, Guardian 1 was up on that one. The night that it happened, Guardian 1 came out, and we tried to find the suspect, but because of the location there, the corn stand I'm talking about is at 98th and 15th. That is about the most difficult place for a canine to track as you can get. So that was a difficult suspect to find. Fortunately, we found him within a day. We had the shooting that occurred that certainly that made the news with the homicide there at 15th and Roxbury. It was reported that the suspect in that was arrested. The King County Sheriff's Office gang unit made that arrest. The suspect, in the charging documents, mentioned that the suspect gave a confession and had a handgun in his backpack that matched the same caliber as the weapon that was used. So more to come on that. I don't think he's been charged at this point with the shooting, but he's in custody on weapons charges, and we expect more charges to come on that. The little intel that we did have on that was that that incident seemed to be related to an assault that had happened a few weeks ago in White Center that was in response to an assault that happened a few weeks before that in SeaTac, and it was all sort of teenagers and young adults that were involved in those. So fortunately, an arrest was made on that also. The major incident that we had that we have not had an arrest on yet was the sexual assaults at 22nd-ish and Roxbury. I'm going to reference White Center now because they have the info posted online that we are still looking for this guy. The intel that we have on him is that he's a young black male that went by the name of Antoine. That's the name. And so we're still asking the community that if they have any info on this to let us know. There was also, the victim had a purse that looked like this, looked like a shoe, or a high-heeled shoe. It's a really distinctive purse that was taken in the assault, and so certainly if anyone has seen or has any info on that, we're still looking for all of that.
Do you know how the victim is? Is she okay?
She is okay. She's not in the hospital anymore, but it's a long recovery in a lot of ways.
Sure.
It was a bad assault. It was a real bad assault.
I told you when
You told me.
The detectives came to my door that night. I met Kelly and Amelia playing called Flip the Badges.
Yep.
And it says, King County Police, Mr. Sweeney, you ain't going to jail. I says, go away.
Yeah.
But anyway, I told him about this guy, and I know I've seen this bird. The closest thing to him that's got that puffy jacket, I don't say that there couldn't be more than one guy like him. But he went across from my house, across the street, went down in front of the Catholic church, and then headed down. I know where those woods are.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you see something or know something, please report to the sheriff's office or 911. So some of the good news that I want to mention is we are going to be kicking off the LEAD program, which stands for Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion. It was a pilot program a few years ago that Seattle and King County developed for Belltown and Skyway. And so Seattle has expanded it into Pioneer Square also. We're going to start using it here in White Center and maybe anywhere else. What this program was designed for was to take low-level drug or prostitution offenses And instead of inputting those people that were involved in those into the criminal justice system, to divert them to counseling resources or social help. There's a lot of discretion in this program. It's the police working with the prosecutor's office, working with these social service agencies to find good candidates. The idea being that we can prevent or stem some recidivism by getting these people help that they might need. And that can range anywhere from a hot meal and a place to stay to some longer-term drug services or housing services or things like that down the road. They'd be working with case managers for some of those longer-term resources. It's a program that Seattle has really liked, that King County has liked up in Skyway. We're going to kind of restart it in Skyway because it stalled a little bit and kick it off here in White Center too. It's, I think, fits very well with some of the topics from tonight, and we hope that that we can make good use of that around here. From my perspective, I think it's a great fit for the neighborhood because I often encounter people that are involved in crime because they don't have a way to get some help that they need, and sometimes they just need to know the right resources to change the circumstances, or they need someone to help them manage some of the services that they might have access to, and that's what this program is designed to do. So there will be more on that hopefully to report. Yes?
Will you get additional manpower for that?
No, there's no additional manpower. It doesn't really take much from our perspective. It requires the police to be aware of the program and to properly identify good candidates and then get them, rather than taking them to jail, get them plugged into these services. They have the manpower that actually does the case management, that does the placement. We just have to find the right people and get them in. So I'm the manager of it on our end here in White Center. Brian Barnes is going to be the manager in Skyway. And so we will kind of see how it goes. If it takes more work on our end than we're able to do, then we'll try to find some way to do it. I know that the sheriff and our command staff really likes this program, so we think it's going to be a good fit here.
Theoretically, that actually could make more time for you.
It could, yeah. I mean, that's the idea, right? Long term, is that it's going to make a dent in crime in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When does that start?
Well, it starts whenever we can get it up and going. The program already exists. I haven't been fully trained on it yet, so that comes this month, and then it will just be a matter of identifying the right type of person or the right candidate for it. There are some people that just won't be a fit for it because these type of services wouldn't fix the problem that we're seeing. But we went through just sort of roughly estimating, went back 2 years, and we're looking at all the arrests in White Center over 2 years, and easily came up with 100 different people that we thought could be candidates for this program. So we think there's good reason to have it here. Yeah.
I see more gang signs around the neighborhood. Do you know what the status is of, for the last couple of years, it's been very quiet in this area. I just wonder if you have any information.
I don't. What you're seeing is accurate, but we don't have a good explanation for it yet. Yeah.
So was that suspect in the shooting, was he gang related then, or?
I don't know that was part of the crime. I don't think that, I didn't get an indication that was part of it. Yeah.
How are things at Top Hat? I saw you and some other sheriff people at the convenience store.
And you didn't say hi?
Say,
I was talking with someone about Top Hat the other day, and we agreed that Top Hat is a mostly quiet neighborhood except for a couple blocks. And those blocks get a lot of attention from us.
which block?
Like the 10800 block of First Avenue Southwest is one of our favorites. And there's a couple others. So there are, I've mentioned this in this group that we've had a lot of auto theft and vehicle recoveries that are traced back to that Top Hat area. That's still continuing, but we've made a lot of arrests of people that were sort of known troublemakers, and so we think that that's going to at least disrupt the patterns that we had for a little while. We are still giving a lot of attention out there, but for the most part, except for like a few blocks, we haven't had the residential burglaries that we were having, last summer. Those have dropped down for the most of Top Hat, and it's pretty quiet except for a couple of those areas. Yeah.
Do you have any kind of feeling for or knowledge about how the crime stats in North Highline compare to countywide? I get to ask this question a lot. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the only place I work, so I know what it feels like here, but I don't know anywhere else. I'd be guessing if I started talking about it. Anything else?
Any questions?
Okay.
I want to say thank you very much.
Yes,
You know,